You remember in the Bible how the Gibeonites made peace with the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. They pretended they were poor. They wore really old clothes, holes in their shoes, and had old moldy, crusty bread, and pretended they came from a long way away, you know. And because they heard of how God had destroyed the Egyptians and the people of Jericho and Ai, and they came make peace with the Israelites. Of course, it came out that they were just lying. They were just a few days away, one of the neighboring kings, you know, countries. And they were a royal kingdom too, yeah. It says in chapter 10 of Joshua, and they feared greatly the other kings. Adonibezek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Joshua had taken Ai and utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, and so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them. And they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. So these kings of Jerusalem, and it says in verse 5, therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went, and they all in their hosts and encamped before Gibeon and made war against the men of Gibeon. You know, and the men of Gibeon sent to Joshua the camp of the Gilgal, saying, slack not thy hand from thy servants, come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. And Joshua descended from Gilgal, him and all the people war with him. And Jehovah said unto Joshua, fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. You know, a lot of people think it was cruelty what the Israelites did to these nations. Think about not too long before that, God destroyed the whole world except for Noah and his 3 sons, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives, you know, 8 people. Destroyed the whole world. That's how the wicked they became. Just like what we're living in now. You know, so shall the days of the Son of Man be. And they took these 5 kings, you know. Verse 24, chapter 10, and it came to pass, when they brought out these kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war, which went with him, come near, and put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near, and put their feet on the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed, be strong, and of good courage, for thus shall Jehovah do to all your enemies against whom you fight. And afterward Joshua smote them, and slew them, and hanged them on 5 trees. Joshua didn't know these men. What kind of a man was this? What kind of a man was Joshua to do this? Well, those people were sinners, you know. They probably had, maybe they were wearing earrings, you know. Maybe they were sexual perverts, you know. Maybe they walked around with their pants, their asses showing, like the people do today. You had no problem killing those bastards, man. Kill them, 5 of them. Poo, 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 poo. And that was the commandment of God. You know. Here's a partial list. There's the list of the kings that Joshua and the Israelites killed. Not only did they kill the king, they killed everyone. Women, children, wipe them all out. A lot of people have problems with God, you know. That's their problem. And in the mountains, in the valleys, in the plains, and in the springs, and in the wilderness, in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And these are the kings of the country which Joshua and the children of Israel smote on this side of the Jordan on the west, from Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon, even unto the Mount Halak, which goes up to Seir, which Joshua gave unto the tribes of Israel for possession according to their divisions. In the mountains, and in the valleys, and in the plains, and in the springs, and the wilderness, and in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites. The king of Jericho won. The king of Ai won, which is beside Bethel, won. The king of Jerusalem won. The king of Hebron won. The king of Jarmuth won. The king of Lachish won. Boo, 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 boo! Destroyed all these kingdoms and their kings. The king of Eglon won. The king of Gezer won. The king of Debir won. The king of Jader won. The king of Hormah won. The king of Arad won. The king of Libnah won. The king of Adullam won. The king of Makkedah won. The king of Bethel won. The king of Tappuah won. The king of Hepher won. The king of Apec won. The king of Lasharon won. The king of Madon won. The king of Hazor won. The king of Shimron Meron won. The king of Ashaph won. The king of Tanakh won. The king of Megiddo won. The king of Kadesh won. The king of Jokanam of Carmel won. The king of Dor and the coast of Dor won. The king of the nation of Gilgal won. The king of Tisra won. All the kings 30-1. Now Moses, he didn't kill all those people, He didn't kill any of the nations when he was going through. But this was the command of God that they were going to kill all these people. And they were faithful to that. Because a man like Joshua, he loved God. He was faithful to God. So he had no problem wiping them all out. What am I leading to? You people that think that you're a part of this world and you don't want to separate from this world, do you realize what Jesus Christ is going to do to his enemies? All this perversion you see going on and that you live amongst. How do you feel about that? How do you live among them and smile? Do you warn them like I'm warning right now? This is serious business because it means their eternal soul. Well, I must be a nut to speak out like this, huh? You people are all gone insane, man. All your obesity, all your sickness. And no one says a word anymore. Why? They're all dead, man. Hey, just because you're living doesn't mean it. Just because you're the majority alive. How about all the people that have been killed? How about all the people that are dead in the past? They would have spoken up. But they're dead, so they can't. And you want to be a part of this world, huh? Oh, man. You deserve everything you will get from God. Believe it.